incense going, and it's like.
Is it lavender?
No, it's Nag Champa because I'm a hippie now. Nag Champa.
What is that?
It's like old school, like hippie dippy trippy shit.
Sounds like it.
Yep.
Nag Champa?
Nag Champa. Ask your brother.
Sounds like a fat camp. Nag Champa fat camp.
That's hilarious.
It does.
It's all the fat, stinky hippies.
Yeah.
I snorted. Oh, funny.
No. Yeah, definitely sounds like a fat camp. I finally got my packages in. I ordered something from ASOS. I ordered some shoes and a hoodie. And then
is that the hoodie?
Of course, no, this is not the hoodie.
No.
And then of course, got my great shipment in from God the Father Apparel.
Nice. It's
pretty cool. Guys, you can definitely check out my Instagram _Marty Mar with 3 R's. That is _MARTY MARRR_. And check out the God the Father drop that I just got in. All right. Yay. Also, go shop God the Father and use code Marcus.
Marcus Aurelius.
Not Marcus Aurelius. Just Marcus at checkout. God the Father Apparel. Marcus at checkout.
I'm the only one that gets Marcus Aurelius. That's my code.
Weak. I don't know if it's gonna work.
I'm gonna try.
But yeah, so
that's funny.
I was pretty upset about not getting my packages at first, and then after I came back from searching for my oils,
they were there.
Yeah,
that's nice. It was a delivery from Jesus.
Indubitably. Mm-hmm. I did pray about both of them. I was pretty frustrated.
Well, yes, I understand. Anyway, what are we doing right now?
This is Unapologetically Human, the podcast. We're recording right now live from my basement, live from her office, out here doing it big quarantine style. Dogs barking, chipmunks humping each other, turtles making love in the bushes. This is Unapologetically Human Radio, and we talk about it all.
Okay, that's weird. But yep, sure. I mean, I don't know why you have turtles in your bushes, but chipmunks.
At the park
sure.
I go running. There's turtles that be sunbathing on the logs.
That's cute. But they're not hiding in the bushes.
A picture. Nope.
On the they all out.
Just chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, we don't care.
Running from white people.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I yelled at somebody on the street again today, so you know.
Oh, well, that's always good.
Well, they were being freaky next to my kids, and it wasn't okay.
Freaky as in like
standing next to them, staring at them, and not getting away.
Okay, I didn't know if you meant freaky as in like, or freaky as in like.
Yeah, no, but a weird old man asked Harper when he wasn't next to me in the park what his name was.
What did you tell him?
What's your name, little
Harper?
Boy? No, he said you told me not to talk to strangers, so I didn't say anything.
Oh, that's good.
Well,
good job, Harper.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good kid you got there.
Thanks. Teaching them not to get stolen.
Yeah. Yep. Start them young.
Well, that's when they want them, so.
Oh, wow.
It's true.
That got dark quick.
So do my thoughts. Real fast.
Man. Speaking of dark thoughts, did you know that a random hole, the biggest hole in the ozone layer, is closed?
Yes, I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy news.
All it took was people stopped scurrying
inside.
about. Yep.
Did you also know that Elon Musk's child, his name is like
stupid
computer code?
And did you also know that Elon Musk said, regardless of what anybody says about restrictions on opening businesses, he's going to start back in production with Tesla. He's
doing
douche, man.
I like what he's doing.
You only like the car. But as my friend and someone with a sound mind, I think, you know he's a dumbass. I
like the Tesla font as well.
That's fine. You can like the product. You just don't have to like the maker.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is true.
Yep. He's just stupid. And his girlfriend,
there's
she looks straight crazy.
Plenty of young ladies. I was like, man, she is great.
Who?
Her parents suck.
Who?
Like, I just said people. There's been
Oh, gotcha,
plenty
gotcha.
of young ladies that just got sucky parents.
Yeah.
Just
It's true.
trash parents.
Yes,
On a
absolutely.
scale from trash to garbage, they are basura, which is trash in Spanish. All right.
Okay. You're so weird.
Guys, I'm in a weird mood. So
He
you
is.
might get some comments that might not even make sense. I'm not drunk. I'm not high. I did drink some Hennessy for the first time the other day.
Why? Where were you?
Here,
Oh, you're just bored trying something new.
my dad had some, and I was like, "What's that?" He told me, and I was like, "Oh, let me get some." He was like, "Come get some." I was like, "All right." I
How
went
was
over
it?
there. Yeah, I don't understand how people drink it. I really don't understand how people drink alcohol, but like, I don't understand how people drink. I feel like wine is different than alcohol. I put them in two
It is.
different
It is.
categories.
Yeah. You mean like hard liquor, like going around sipping on like
Yeah, like people
no.
be drinking Hennessy straight from the bottle. I'd be like,
Mm,
how do you
no.
do
Ugh, I
that?
just got like a chill. It's
Yeah,
gross. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to walk around drinking something that makes me go like this every single time. Like, you know,
yeah,
that's not. I'm not enjoying that.
yeah. I can't get with it.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't understand how other people are getting with it, but people are
It
doing
did.
it,
Yeah.
and they be sharing the bottle, they be passing it around, and just I'd be like, yo,
You know, I saw kids in the park smoking a joint, and I was like, all you're doing is coronavirus,
weak.
coronavirus, coronavirus. Oh, I'm taking it again. Coronavirus. I'm
My
like,
friend Bree,
no.
my friend Bree just texted me. Yeah, she asked me if I was gonna share my popcorn. I said Miss Rona said otherwise, and she texted back and was like, "Look, COVID."
You're not good at sharing anyway. Now you're never going to share again.
Look, COVID.
You guys are weird.
I am not going to share again. I can't even share aisles with people. I was in Target and this girl was looking at like black hair care products
Is she white
and
or black?
she was white. And I was like, get out of my aisle. Because the
She
day
might
before
have black kids.
this was a little kid. She might have been like 13.
Oh,
She don't have
okay.
no kids. I was mad though the other day because I was trying to find some I think I was trying to find some jojoba oil
Yeah.
and I
Jojoba? What?
couldn't. Shut up. I was trying to find some jojoba oil and I couldn't find it. And I was so
Right.
mad. I was mad because I was like, yo, like, it's black people that live out here. Like,
Well,
cater to
yeah.
us. I was pissed.
You need to
I
go to
was
like a beauty store, but they're probably all closed right now.
I was highly upset. Eventually I found some, um,
Yeah.
as stated before, but you know,
Target's ethnic aisle is just fucking stupid. I've,
yeah, like
as you know, I've had to contact you. I've asked people there. Um, it's stupid. There's nothing there that's good. I
yeah.
mean, there's a couple things, but yeah, no.
The one that I actually found everything at though, they had a fantastic display. I was like, I
Really?
actually appreciate this. You
Which one
might not
was it?
have a lot, but you got a great display going.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear it.
Hmm.
Cool. All right. That's great.
I did think I was gonna get stopped while walking through the store though, like
Why?
because I had my hood up. I actually looked just like this, just with the mask and a different color hoodie,
Mm-hmm.
um, and headphones. I was carrying the mic with me, everything, and
Idiot. That'd be
and so
hilarious, actually.
as I'm walking around, and I was just like, man, I feel like somebody gonna stop me. So I took my hood
But
off
why? Because,
because
oh,
I'm
yeah.
black, walking
Well,
around in the store with a mask on, a hat, and the
well,
hood.
because you had the hood on.
And I
So
was
you're
like,
just totally covered.
no. I was like, I'm just gonna take my hood off
Yeah.
because I feel like somebody's gonna stop me. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Not necessarily. I know it's not a good thing necessarily, but I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. Because I was like, okay, would they stop somebody of another race that has a hood on? Like, is this just me overthinking it, or is it like really a thing?
Mm.
And I was like, no, I think it's really a thing.
No, it
I
is
think it,
really a thing.
so. I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't have the freedom to walk through a store with a mask, hood, and hat on because I'm
No.
obviously going to rob somebody. Obviously.
Absolutely. Well,
It's
yeah.
written all over my hoodie. Actually, my hoodie said Tokyo, But
But the back of it said, "I will rob you."
yeah,
Un momento.
yeah. Don't give me the space. That's pretty much what they saw. You know, my skin became a weapon when they turned the weapons on my skin.
Did you just make that up?
I just made that up. Actually, I made it up the other day, but I just thought about it.
Good job.
Yeah.
You get 1 point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So now our points are not only vocab, they're for good sayings.
Good. Yeah. That is the saying of the day of this episode. My skin became a weapon when they turned their weapons on my skin.
Good job. Proud moment.
Indeed.
You get a bow, 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 bow. Good job.
So
well, speaking of freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. Do you know what freedom is? How is it defined?
Freedom. I actually have never thought about that.
Right?
I was going to say the freedom to do something. I was like, you can't
but then
use the
you
word.
Can't use the word.
Having the liberty.
Oh, what are you going to start singing or Star Spangled Banner or like saying the...
No. Having the liberty to do something without repercussion.
Close. Yes, that's one way. So the power. Okay, that's 2 points. So the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Not being imprisoned or enslaved.
Yeah. Out here with the freedom.
All right. So freedom, right, consists of 3 things.
Indeed.
Okay. National freedom. So that's like freedom over foreign control. Like it's a basic concept that like ethnic group or a tribe or whatever, we rule yourself, right? You're not ruled by a foreign party.
Yeah.
Political freedom, ability to vote, ability
democracy.
To and individual
democracy. I said a true democracy.
You're like,
because hey, there's many types of democracies.
Yes. Individual freedom. So freedom to live as you choose, as long as you harm nobody else. You can say what you want. You can choose your own lifestyle. That all kind of happened with the Bill of Rights, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to give you a little history on freedom and how it worked. Okay. Up until now. Don't yawn because then I yawn.
Oh, lo siento.
Why? Because I'm not a psychopath. Okay.
Yeah.
So Declaration of Independence. What year was that?
14.
No,
16.
That's when Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
I was going to say 1492.
That's Columbus.
1678.
1776.
Was it backwards? No, it wasn't.
No, it was close.
I thought I said it backwards. I was like,
You're like, I'm dyslexic. No, it was no, close. So, okay, when was the First World War?
First World War happened in 1930.
1914 to 1918. Dang. You know, I knew none of these facts before I looked it up, so don't worry. Okay, so okay, in 1776, Declaration of Independence, don't forget.
Yeah.
The United States then had national freedom, right?
National freedom.
Again, not being controlled by somebody else, right?
Okay. Or so we thought.
Well,
I don't know. I was just trying to like.
Okay. Well, adult white males had political and individual freedom. So they had all 3 that make up what freedom is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So white women, lots of freedom, but they had no political liberty. So until 1920.
Meaning that they couldn't vote, pretty much.
No voting until 1920. And in 1920, when women were given the liberty to vote, that was white
that's
women.
The 15th Amendment. Is that the 15th?
19.
You
failed at history today.
I know the 13th.
Yes, so do I.
I thought women's suffrage. I thought that one was the 15th, but it's the 19th.
When I was looking at that, I was like, oh, women's suffrage, blah blah blah. No, it's white women's suffrage. Black women still could not vote, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but does it matter what color your skin is to be a woman? No. Epic fail. So Anyway, so when it's like, oh, women.
I'm be rude. I had to process what you were just trying to say. You were just trying to say that that amendment should have amended the right for everyone to vote, not just white women.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just clearing it up for anybody that was like me that just was like, hold on, nigga, what? So go ahead.
What? Okay, whatever. Okay.
No. It was it was a good thought. I'm just saying, my mind was like, hold on, but yeah, I got you.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is everybody should be able to vote who's a woman, no,
Yeah.
regardless of the color of your skin.
Mhm.
Okay. So, okay. Civil War. What year?
Let me see. Declaration of Independence was in when 17.
76.
Black people were free 1865. Civil War happened. When did it start or when did it end?
When did it start?
It started in 1804.
That's a long fucking war. It was
started
61 years later. Everybody was dead from old age.
It started in 1842.
61.
I feel like that was a really long war.
It was 4 years.
Oh, that's still a long war.
Okay, so until after the Civil War, African Americans possessed neither political nor individual freedom. Okay?
You said until after?
After.
Got you. Yeah.
Because, well, we'll get there. Okay,
Yeah.
so in 1857, the Supreme Court formally ruled that African Americans did not have the right to individual or political freedom. So they voted on that. The soldiers of the Confederacy fought for political, individual, and national freedom, right? But
I don't understand how. Keep going.
Okay, we're just going to keep going. Okay, but there was still slavery. Slavery is written into the Constitution. So you have the freedom of religion, right? So, and it's religion, especially Christianity, huge over just everything pretty much. But that seems like that should be part of the Constitution, right? But God's not mentioned anywhere. It's only there's slavery in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird. So in what year was it? The year 1863, the Gettysburg War. That's kind of the turning point, right?
Yeah.
So the 13th Amendment, that happened in what year?
1865.
And what was it?
It was abolished slavery.
Correct. Right. So it abolished slavery, right? But when did the Jim Crow laws that started in 1896 actually end?
1964.
1968. 3 years after the 13th Amendment was ratified.
Huh? Wait, no.
Yes, after the 13th Amendment.
You said the Jim Crow law started when?
Jim Crow was 1896 and lasted almost 100 years to 1968.
And then you said it was 3 years after.
After the
when they started?
No, sorry. It was 3 years after. There's too much shit in front of my fucking face.
After the Civil Rights Act was put in, that's when Jim Crow laws stopped. 3 years after that.
Yes, not the other thing. Yes, sorry.
Got you. Okay.
Go ahead and clarify.
3 years after the Civil Rights Act was put into place,
yes.
Jim Crow laws.
Not the 13th Amendment. Yes.
Jim Crow laws was abolished. Okay.
Yes.
We're all on the same page.
So it's just confusing. There's too many fucking dates and there's too many stupid, like freedom is supposed to be national freedom, political freedom, individual freedom. So why does it get so complicated?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay, so Civil Rights Act 1964.
Yes.
So after that, you've got 3 to 4 years of bullshit still.
Yeah.
That you had to work through. And it wasn't all there, all the rules, but they just were like, oh, let's get rid of that one. Okay, I guess we'll keep this one for a while longer.
Yeah.
So anyway, black people were allowed to vote in 1965. So.
Yep.
So anyway, I muddled through that one, but you guys get the gist.
Yeah. Thank you for the history lesson. Appreciate it.
No problem. So I have something kind of weird to talk about too.
Yeah,
So
let's get
white privilege is where I want to start. That's not weird. I mean, it's stupid, but it's not weird.
it.
So could you tell me what that is?
White privilege is just pretty much what it sounds like. White people having not necessarily an upper hand, but an upper hand no matter where they start or like whatever situation they're in.
Like
They have
unearned advantage, kind of?
yeah.
Okay. So, one thing that I think about a lot, they were giving different examples, but and they were almost like diminishing this. But as you know, I like to have band-aids the same color as my kid's skin, but
Yeah.
it's when you're white, you go into a store and you're like, oh, I need some band-aids. Well, they're all made for white skin. And I refuse to put that on my kid.
I wish I was
So,
recording where I usually do because I have them in the drawer.
oh, yay. Oh, I have some somewhere. But anyway,
Yeah.
True Color Bandage, check it out.
Yeah.
They're awesome. So anyway, that's having the privilege to go into a store and be like, oh, I need some. They use pantyhose, which is hilarious because like my mom, she's like 80 something. She wears pantyhose. I don't do that. But you've got like cream color pantyhose. So why would a black woman want to put cream color pantyhose on? You don't, right?
Yeah.
Um anyway, so you're being able to move through life pretty much free of stereotypes for the most part.
Let me be real with you. The first time you gave me them band-aids, like I thought it was like a cool idea, but at the same time I was like, I don't think niggas have ever thought about the band-aid.
You should
But
though.
then once I started using it, I was like, this is actually pretty cool.
But you know
But
what?
like before that, I was never like thinking about it.
But that right there is an example of complacency.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're so like it doesn't. Why would you think about it, right? You're like, okay, well, this is how it is, but you got to like really have to like challenge those things. Be like, fuck this! I'm not wearing a goddamn band-aid that's for a white person. Like I saw this really beautiful black woman. She had like a white band-aid right here, and I was like, Jason's like, leave her alone, because I went to be like, here's a true color band-aid, But
I don't know. Okay, so here's my thought about it. I get what you're
okay.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I feel like black people are just like, hey, we got bigger stuff to like think
I
about.
understand, but it's like the small stuff too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh,
It starts in the small stuff.
right.
But then like I think that we so stuck on trying to stay alive that like if we get cut in the process, we're not thinking about what color bandage we have.
Right. So you're saying I'm showing
That's
my
my thought
privilege
process.
right now?
Kind of.
Shut up.
No, because we can be honest with each other, kind of, but it's not. It's in the right place though.
Right. I'm using it for the right reason.
Yeah, it's not like it's like in a place of like malice or anything. You're literally like,
Right.
hey, like don't do this because it's not
It's
there's
not
better stuff
right.
for you.
Well,
You
yeah.
got this, and then we like, oh nigga, I have never. This is cool, but I have never thought about this.
But you know
Appreciate
what? My kids are growing up with that. And so maybe there'll be a change because they're young black boys. They're going to be black men. They'll be like, bitch, I'm not wearing that band-aid. I'm wearing this band-aid.
Give me the black band-aid.
Yes. Give me the. And I think white people should wear the black band-aid for at least 100 years. So
Yeah, I got you.
I wear them. Whatever. Okay. Next. Have you heard, Marcus, of black privilege?
No, I haven't. What is black privilege?
Okay. White commentators are describing it as how blackness has become a tremendous asset, and that some whites are trying to pass as black. So, have you heard of David Horowitz?
No, that's a bad name though.
Well, yeah. He's a white conservative
Sounds
author.
about white.
His book
Sounds about white.
Yeah. He Jason said he's on Fox News all the time. The Horowitz Report.
Even whiter.
Yep. So Black Skin Privilege and the American Dream is his book.
That doesn't even make sense.
I Okay. He says that Black people are more privileged, though they lag behind other racial groups in varying categories. It's not white privilege that's preventing them from doing better. It's their behavior, such as their inability to build more intact families. Got anything to say about that? Let me just keep telling you what else he said.
Dismantlement of the black family started within slavery.
The what?
The
Dismantlement?
dismantlement of the black family started with slavery. They used to sell families apart from each other.
Mhm.
They used to uh what's it called? This they used to demasculate men. Like male slave owners used to rape men. Like this isn't like something that just this isn't something that like just started or like is a huge thing now. Like no, this is something that was put in place because if you destroy the family unit, then you can take everything else and like you just take everything apart because everything starts in the home. So once
Right.
you start messing with the home,
Hmm.
that's when all that starts. So for him to say like, yes, there is a problem with um the black family. Completely agree.
Hmm.
Completely agree. But like this isn't something like him just saying like they can't hold a family together or something like that. First off, the divorce rate is high across the board.
Sure.
White men leave their families as well. White women leave their families as well.
Right.
Leaving families is not a racial thing. Like there are tons of families that do not have the full picture or whatever.
Like a nuclear family.
Yeah.
Hmm. Agreed. Can I keep going?
I don't even know how to fully like give a good answer to that. Like that
That was a good answer.
I don't understand how people can say stuff like that and just
Hmm.
keep going.
Okay, I'm just going to tell a couple more infuriating things that he said just because it's important, because this is
Thank you.
where the whole black privilege, which I find insane, has
It's
come from.
literally a is that a paradox that when two things don't agree? Like if you say like, oh, he's red yellow, you'd be like,
Yeah,
my nigga, how is it red and yellow? Isn't that a paradox?
maybe. I think so.
Whatever.
Um,
I'll cut it out in post.
okay. So he says the fact that white people are better off is not a privilege; it's earned. Um, he says that if racial disparity proves discrimination, then the National Basketball Association is racist because 90% of the players are black. He's so stupid. That's because they're talented and white men can't jump, which we talked about before. Um, So then he says the black privilege is so pervasive that it's hard to miss. College professors practicing affirmative grading to hold black students to lower standards, corporations offering internships and programs to black workers, but not to white. Black privilege even extends to the White House. This is what he says. Barack Obama was an inexperienced presidential candidate and was elected because America wanted to experience a post-racial sugar high. He wouldn't be elected dog catcher if he wasn't black. This is David Horowitz, everyone.
If Barack Obama was inexperienced and he was a senator in Chicago,
Mhm.
I would like to know what Donald Trump is considered because he wasn't any type of politician. He was actually a dickhead before
Reality
he
TV host.
before he was president, and now he's a two-time dickhead
Mhm.
after becoming president. I
Yes.
don't understand how people can make these type of Who you can't write this stuff. People literally think like this. The reason
Yes.
that there's affirmative action and stuff like that is
Mhm.
because Black people weren't getting the hand that they needed.
Right.
People was getting my nigga when they put in the amendment, like you were just saying earlier about women being able to vote, they were talking about white women.
White women.
That in itself negates all Black privilege. There is no Black privilege. Black people
Right.
can't even run. We can't even go jogging.
Right. Which we're going to get to. I got a few more steps before we get there.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
No, it's fine. I've got such a, like, I went down a weird, I just wanted to like touch on all of it because it's so contradictory to what the word freedom means, right? I'm going to keep going.
Please
Okay.
do.
So there's something called a racial contract. Okay.
Mhm.
It deems that certain lives have greater value than others. There's underlying assumptions of white innocence and Black guilt. And I think that's more what the world seems to be about
So you
than,
say that again?
yeah, racial contract
Mhm.
deems that certain lives have greater value than other lives. And there's underlying assumptions of white innocence and Black guilt.
Got you.
Okay. So examples of this. A 12-year-old has a toy gun, but that's a dangerous threat and it's met with lethal force. Okay, but this is a Black child, obviously.
Mhm.
A struggling white farmer in Iowa takes billions of dollars in federal assistance, but that's because they're hardworking Americans down on their luck. So the difference there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just, there's so many examples that I could give, but it's just showing like such a difference in how people are treated unequally.
Yeah.
So now that there's no way I can't talk about the pandemic because it's just our reality. So
Yeah.
the pandemic has introduced a new clause, right? So the lives of disproportionately Black and brown workers, essential workers, right? So people in meatpacking plants, all over. But I'm going to talk a lot about the meatpacking plants.
Mhm.
So this is what some of us are thinking could be called the COVID contract. So it's the coronavirus was an emergency until Trump found out who was dying. So that's kind of where I'm going
Yeah.
at this point. Um, so let's see. What was I going to talk about next? Okay, so April 16th was a day of protests, right? That's when the first protests started. And the protesters, obviously, as we know and we've talked about before, they were, I think, 100% white. I mean, I don't think there were any Black people there, were there?
Yeah. I don't think we would be allowed to stand outside with a gun. So
Right. So that was the first anti-lockdown protest, and deaths had more than doubled to more than 30,000 when the protesting started. But this protesting is starting, and Trump is like, "Oh, we have to reopen the economy." But it's kind of like, okay, he's choosing uh, certain lives over other lives.
yeah, I
So
got you.
disproportionately, African Americans seem to have essential jobs, right? Not
Mhm.
all, some.
Yeah.
But those are the workers now that have been keeping us going through, keeping us with food, keeping us with just anything and everything we need, our essentials, right? But those are the people that are now dying at a higher rate. But we're like, let's open the economy.
Yeah.
So that seems to be a dichotomy. It's kind of what I'm getting at is like I can't remember what I was reading, but somebody said that like there's no reason not to open the economy because regular folks were fine, but that's
Mm.
doesn't really count for these essential workers, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to be fine, sure, but do you think people like Ahmaud Arbery are going to be fine, right? So he seems a huge part of that racial contract, right?
Mhm.
So again, the racial contract is, you know, it's certain lives have greater value than other lives. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ahmaud Arbery, that whole situation has been a hot topic lately. It should have
Yeah.
probably been that way a couple months ago. But I
Yeah.
have an article that I read that was really, really interesting, and it broke it down in with details that I had never heard of before. But I don't want to do all the talking. So if you want to start talking about it, then that's cool.
Yeah. So Ahmaud Arbery, 25-year-old black guy. He was running in his neighborhood and
In
uh
Georgia.
in Georgia.
Yep.
And three white guys, I can't remember their names, but they followed him and killed him. They said that he looked like he was a suspect. He matched the description of a suspect. Um, I guess that the police were looking for or something like that.
Gregory and Travis McMichael. That was a father
Yeah.
and son. I don't know the name of the other one.
Yeah, one guy was in his car and if you never watched the video, so pretty much how it goes is a guy is driving and then you see him come around the bend and there's a truck that's already stopped and there's a guy getting out of the truck. You see Ahmad jogging and he's on the left side of the truck. The guy runs up on Ahmad and then uh, I think he fired a shot first, and then him and Ahmad started fighting. Another shot was fired, and then they're still going. Shots fired, and then you see Ahmad let him go, and he tries to like run off, and then he just falls.
Right.
And um, yeah, so the father and son were the two guys in the truck, and then the guy behind them was dickhead number 3.
So the guy behind him is the guy that's recording this.
Yeah.
Okay. So something that I didn't know how all the news got to the point of where it was at this point. So this is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. A man named JL Josiah Watts, he sent an email to a food writer for the LA Times.
Yeah.
And he was explaining that his cousin, Ahmad, was like, this is what happened. He's like, hey, this is like insane. This is what happened to my cousin, blah, blah, blah. So did you hear about this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so her name is Kim. She takes the email and she forwards it on to a Times Atlanta Bureau Division. He's like a chief there, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Wait a second, this might be something that we need to look into, right?" So he begins to look into it. He believes that he finds out that the police report was based entirely off of the two men. So Gregory and Travis McMichael. It was based only on what they had to say.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's like, all right, I know I'm not supposed to be traveling right now, but he asked the editors, he's like, can I go down there and check some stuff out? They're like, all right, you can't stay anywhere on the way. You just have to get there. So he drives 10 hours. He starts interviewing people there. He starts delving deeper into the case and realizes, hey, this is pretty fucked up, right? Like, this is crazy. Like, this is injustice. So I guess the video was leaked by one of the lawyers. So
Got you.
it's very interesting. Like, all of this is kind of like this cluster of crazy. Um, but so he writes, this guy who his name is Richard Fawcett. He
Mm-hmm.
writes 2 weapons, a chase, a killing, and no charges. And that is what like kind of put everything into a tailspin. And then the video came out. So that's where all of the national outcry came from, right?
Yeah.
So finally, the father and son were arrested and they were charged with murder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're at the time, like, there's been so many people that have recused themselves from this case, which is really strange. They're up to like lawyer number 4 or something of the district attorneys. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
I mean, don't quote me on 4, but it's insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
there was a local prosecutor who was going to be part of it. His name is Barnhill. He's the same dude that tried to prosecute Olivia Pearson for helping. She's a black woman who was helping a black voter try and like get her census through the electronic machine. She was confused, so Olivia was trying to help, and Barnhill wanted to like persecute her for that and like arrest her,
Mm-hmm.
which is same dude, right?
Yeah.
So he described the father and son's actions as perfectly legal and that no crime was committed. So then he's not on the team anymore. But he's just saying that there's no violation in chasing somebody, confronting somebody, and killing somebody that they have never met before. And then there's this whole thing about Georgia has a what is it, a citizen's arrest law?
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
No. I've heard of a citizen's arrest before, but
So supposedly you can detain somebody. I think I read that you're supposed to have seen them commit a crime, but there was, I think it came out today or a couple days ago that there was literally no crime that was reported in that neighborhood. So they were saying that, didn't they say like a burglary or something had
something
happened?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So attorneys for Arbery's family are calling for the third man to be arrested, though, the guy who shot the video.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then now they're saying, they always kind of like reach for, they're like, okay, so a black dude was killed. Okay, so what can we find out about him that's going to make the actions of these two white men more valid? So now they're coming up with things that have happened in his past. Like, oh, he brought a gun to a high school basketball game. Oh, he had mental issues, this, and that.
How would you know any of that?
I don't know.
That should hold no weight in court. They shouldn't even be able to bring up that stuff because you wouldn't know any of that by looking at somebody.
Right. Right. And that has nothing to do with the actions that happened.
Right.
Agreed. So anyway, they are assessing all the evidence. Supposedly, the Justice Department has been brought in, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
That's really crazy because when dude, I think it was in South Carolina, when he went in there and shot up the church and shot all them black people up.
The white dude that came in and shot all the black people in the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, they were like, oh, like he had like, mental issues and like, oh, he was like this and stuff like that. I think they walked him out with no handcuffs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually killed people.
A lot of people.
He actually like committed a mass murder. They walked him out with no handcuffs, no nothing. They was like, yo, have sympathy for him. Ahmaud Arbery didn't do anything to anybody. He was literally just getting his exercise in. Mm-hmm. Did nothing. What you have you're a citizen, you doing the citizen arrest thing or whatever like that. Why did you pull up on him with a shotgun and then the other dude had a pistol?
And why was somebody recording this behind them?
You got out the truck. So the dude from the video, Ahmaud did not look big. He didn't look like a big dude.
No, not really.
So if y'all was trying to perform a citizen's arrest or whatever, it's three of y'all. Y'all definitely could have just been like, yo, you gotta come with us or whatever. I don't know how they handle that. Black people could never do a citizen's arrest.
No.
But you got out and you immediately start trying to like shoot at him, and then you kill him. Even if
you don't get arrested for 2 months.
Right. Because it happened in February, right?
February 23rd.
Yeah. Like, you're innocent until proven guilty. So how are they just some random people who didn't see anything happen, the judge and the jury and the executioner, and don't get arrested? That's by far the whitest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And then are said to have committed no crime. Like there's nothing that they did that was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, but they also said that, I think the father saying that they pulled up, they were waiting, they saw him, they asked him, they were like, we want to talk to you. And then Ahmaud started fighting with them for the gun. The gun goes off, and that's how he died. There's a video, you jackass. There's a video.
There's literally 3 shots that were fired. Also, if somebody pulls up on me with a gun, you think I'm gonna just be like, oh yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah. In Georgia, when we was that time when we went to Mississippi for work, and we was running, somebody would have pulled up on us and be like, hey, I want to talk to you, boy. You think I'm gonna just walk over to the car? No. Smiling, cheesing. Hey, buddy, what's going on? What's the sitch? No.
What's the sitch?
You have nothing to say to me. Me and Tony got stopped by a cop. Scariest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. We were jogging. We got stopped by a cop. He questions us about like what we were doing, where we're going. He searched Tony. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm be rude. The whole time I was like, yo, we finna die. we finna die. We was around the corner from my house on the same trail that I run every day. And the killer part was my friend Jason was running with us. Jason's kind of fat, so he got behind us. If Jason listens to it, he's probably laughing. But Jason got behind us. And so we're running and we get to the stoplight. We're waiting for Jason. We're up under the light. We're not like, we just waiting for Jason. I'm literally hunched over because I'm tired. He comes up asking us questions. I show him on my phone the fact that we had been running. I showed him the trail, all of it. He still searches Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, there have been some reports going on about some
Sure.
things.
Of course there have.
So
Haven't there always been reports every single time?
he's like, yeah, get home, be careful or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason catches up with us and we're like, yo, like, we just got stopped and searched. And Jason starts going off, where's he at? Well, I'm going to have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation with him. Also the whitest thing I've ever
Because
heard.
that's white privilege. But when you just said to me when we were running, if somebody stopped, I'm like, I'm going to throw my white body right in front of you and be like, what? Because because I can do that. I'm not saying that this person's not completely psychotic and they're not going to shoot me, but am I freaked out about that? I mean, not really. Maybe a little, but I mean, it's not my first thought. My first thought is, oh, I'm going to protect Marcus, you know? So, and that's,
love you too, Mandy.
well, I love you, yes, but that's injustice. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Did you see the video of the man in LA that was running? Supposedly, I didn't see him run, but I'm sure it was running. And this like uppity looking gray-haired white man with a stupid
Oh,
dog were walking in front of
yeah.
him, and the black man was yelling at him, saying, "Don't tell me not to run my neighborhood," blah 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 blah. And like he was irate,
Yeah, he's
but
pissed.
I think he should have been. And
Yeah.
the dude was such a puss. He's just like, "You're
He's like, no
crazy."
way.
It's like the
He's
white dude was
freaking
like,
crazy, man. Leave me alone.
yeah, he's just like,
Nobody's
"You're
just
psycho." I'd be like, "You're fucking psycho because you just freaked out and you told me not to run my neighborhood. Now you're walking with a stick up your ass with your stupid, ugly dog. And like, fuck you." That's
yeah.
all I have to say. No
I
good thoughts.
the day after I kind of because I watched the video of the Ahmaud
Me
Arbery
too.
thing. I watched it on accident though. Like my Instagram was like, yo, this next thing is like a thing. What is it? It's like a little parental advisory thing that says
Yeah.
like, some type of content is about to pop up. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'll be the judge of that. And I clicked on it and I'm watching it. I was like, oh, what is this?
What? You're like, what am
And
I
then
watching? Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then that's when I found out. I was like, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And I went running the next morning
Mm-hmm.
and I was pissed. I was scared, but I was more so pissed
Mm-hmm.
because I used to go running, like I just said, throughout the neighborhood at my old house.
Yep.
I've only been running throughout the neighborhood out here one time.
Right.
Uh,
Well, because you live in a predominantly white neighborhood.
yeah, and now I just go running at the park.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fact that even with me being at the park and everything, like that same thing happened to me. Like I called my friend Tom. I was like, "Yo, I really need you to pray for me because I'm really pissed off right now." And like I'm trying to like I'm trying to keep my head on straight, and I'm trying not to look at people sideways and things like that. Like I'm trying to be positive, but I'm really having a tough time. I really, really am. Because I was like, bro, like all of these situations could have been me. I was like, but my nigga, I go running every morning. I've been stopped before by the cops while running. This very may well have could have been me. I told him about me and you going running in Mississippi. I was like, bro, like this could have been me. And it could have been Fred. Fred just went for a bike ride. Like, I was just like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
it was too much. And so I was running in the park actually. And I haven't told you about this, but I meant to tell you. I was running in the park that day and you know how you get mad and you get like extra energy?
Yeah.
Like I sprinted around the park and I was timing myself and everything. And when I was doing my cool down and I was just kind of like jogging around, this little white kid, I prayed and I was just like, God, like I really need you right now because I'm angry. I cannot do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this little white kid stopped me And he's like, "Excuse me, what is this? Do you know what this is?" And it was just like a rock, but it had like words painted on it. I don't even remember what it said, but it was just like a little rock on the
Mm-hmm.
ground. And I was like, "Nah, look, man, I'm sorry, I don't know what it is."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just like the pure innocence within this little boy's voice and within his character, it made me rethink like my whole mindset in that moment. And
Well,
even though I looked at the young man, I was like, he could have been no more than like 4, you
oh.
know. And I looked at him and I was like, yo, I got you. Nah, I don't know what that is, bro. And I looked back up at his mom and or whoever she was, and like, of course, it was like a switch. It was like I looked at him and it was like, ah. I looked up at the mom, I was like, dun, dun, dun. And I was just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to like review my whole. I was like, all right, racism is taught. It's not a it's not something that you're just born with. You're not born racist or anything like that. Like I'm like,
Right.
okay, let's calm down. It's about the kids. You love kids. You work with kids. You're trying to make a difference. But Mandy, I was pissed. I was to the point like if honestly, if you didn't have black kids, I would have been mad at you.
You know what I was just about to say? Like, do you ever, because we're so close, do you ever though, like, for just a second even think like, like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to put it into words, but like have something about me because I'm white?
Yeah, like that in that moment, I was. I promise you, I was like, I was mad at everybody white, everybody white. And then I had to call him. I was like, all right, Mandy, that's my friend. She loves me. Like we're close. I love her. We're all like family. Like she's no, that's not Mandy. That's not Mandy. I was mad at Tony. Tony's not even white. I was pissed at Tony because we had the conversations about like how black people can't be racist and stuff like
Oh,
that.
Tony's so stupid.
And Tony was just like, no, like, and you'd be like, systematically, like other groups have more power. He's like, nobody has more power than me.
Oh, you're
And so I
like,
was mad at Tony because I was like, yo, my nigga, like you. And I was mad at like everybody that I just was frustrated with. Like at that moment, I
yeah,
was livid. But I
I
love you though.
understand. Did you say, but I love you?
Yeah.
I love you too. You know, I would do anything to protect you. I always include you when I say, my big white wings, they're over you, they're over Harper, they're over Ellison, they're over
Yeah.
all my black friends, their children.
Yeah.
But you know what? It won't always be like I have to figure out how to keep my kids I can't keep them safe. I have to teach them how to make the right choices in the environment and society in which we live to keep themselves safe because I can't just be like this little white, like, nope, get away from my kids. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to work. I would love it to. I want them to have like maybe a pop up of me. This is my mom. They'd be like, who the fuck's that? That's not your mom.
Go away.
Right?
Shoot.
Or just have a
Shoot.
recording of me.
Right.
Get the fuck
One of them
away.
little Build-A-Bear things.
Then hit people.
No, for real.
Like I don't know. It's hard. It's stressful and it's a lot of pressure, but it's it's
Yeah.
worth it. But I just hope I'm doing it the right way. But that's why I have you.
Yeah.
So anyway, the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about, if you're ready to move on, sir.
Yeah. We went down a rabbit hole for a short second. But it was
That's
a
okay.
necessary rabbit hole, but
Absolutely.
yeah.
So did you see today Trump being just a dick to that Asian American
Mm-mm.
reporter? You
No.
didn't?
No.
Oh, you need to see the video. Okay.
I haven't been on Instagram or anything for real today.
It just came through like this morning as part of the news, and then it's everywhere at this point. So
Gotcha.
she said to him something, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said something like, Mr. Trump, or I think she said Mr. Trump, but asked him why he's viewing, he's like, oh, you know how everything is the best, right? Oh, America's the best, and we have the
Yeah.
best this, and so he said something like, we had the most testing, which is not true, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you comparing the United States with other countries and saying that, we have the most testing? Why is this a competition for you? And he's just like, well, she's like, people are dying, and like, why isn't that what's important? Why is it that, why is like a competition important to you?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, people are dying all over the world. And he's like, maybe you need to ask China that question, and like yelled China at her. She's Asian American. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, and he's like, she sits down for a second, and then she goes, sir, why are you saying that to me? She's like, why are you directing what you just said to me? And then he's like, I'm not directing anything to you. That's a nasty question. And then this other excuse me, this other chick gets called on, and the Asian American reporter is still sitting there, and she's like kind of like, how do you formulate what else you can say, because he's just being a bully like he always is. So
Yeah.
the other lady's still waiting, and he called on her again. And so she's like, okay, I have a couple questions. He's like, nope, nope. And she's like, but you called on me, sir. And he said, no, you did. I called on you, you didn't answer. Next, anybody else? And she's just like, but I have a couple questions, and I was trying to let my colleague keep speaking if she needed to. And he was like, that's it. He's like, thank you all very much, we're done. And he leaves. So, okay, hissy fit, tantrum, what happened? But also, you just screamed a racial slur to an Asian American, telling her to ask China, like screamed at her twice.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? What the literal fuck?
Yeah.
You have to
I
watch
don't.
this video.
Yeah, I definitely need to. I haven't seen it. And guys, we'll post it so you guys can see it as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I just, cause like I try to think from a mindset of, um, I just try to I try to keep a level head, you know.
Yep.
And I try to, see different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like when people vote for Donald Trump, when they voted for him, when people have Trump 2020 flags up, all these different types of things, especially when Black people vote for him, I cannot understand with any part of my mind how you can, like, for somebody to be just blatantly ignorant, both in the scholastic lack of knowledge definition,
Mm-hmm.
and also the connotation of ignorance being like rude.
Right.
All of those, with both those definitions, the societal and the Webster dictionary,
Mm-hmm.
how can you become a president? And then how can you stay president? How can you still be president when you've had like a Russian probe thing that happened with all of that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Um
That he was like pretty much in bed with Putin.
yeah, he was in bed with Stormy Daniels as well. Like,
They grab her
how
by the pussy.
yeah, that comment, like the comments at your rallies about like, oh, in my day, they would have had something else happen to them and stuff like that. Like, you literally incite racism and violence at your rallies. You literally incite racism, ignorance, and violence with your comments at reporters and stuff like that. You
Mm-hmm.
give people the right to be racist, and that junk is crazy. You're
Right.
literally, by your present of being president, you're giving people the freedom to be racist. I haven't
Right.
heard anything from Donald Trump about anybody outside of the white race
Right.
being in a positive, like, anytime something has happened. I forgot what happened, but he was just like saying there was some riots or something like that. I think it was when the whole South Carolina stuff had happened,
Okay.
and he was saying like, oh, there were good people on both sides and stuff like that. Dude, call what wrong. When somebody's wrong, call them wrong. Let them know that they're wrong. I don't care
Right.
if somebody's good on either side. You just
Right.
you're literally just trying to keep yourself on the side of racism. You're
Mm-hmm.
out, like, you're literally making sure that you were on the side of racism. His
Right.
dad was a KKK member.
Right.
Like, and that's known knowledge. It's not just like oh, I bet his dad was. No,
No.
his dad, Fred Trump, was a KKK member.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. And you ain't no KKK member raising his kid to love all people. Especially not no rich KKK member.
No.
Come on now, that don't even add up.
No, it doesn't.
KKK and diversity or culture don't even add up. So I don't understand. I don't understand how people think this way. I don't understand how
I don't
people
know.
make the comments. I don't understand how people voted for him. I don't understand. That has been the last 4 years. I don't understand. When he got voted in, I was confused. When they said that he ran and won, I was like, yo, this is really the letter of the day is B for blown. I was blown. All right. If you're listening to this instead of watching, go to YouTube because I'm holding up the letter B right now. I was blown.
Yeah, I understand. I cried. So I was so depressed that day. Actually, maybe for 4 years. I don't know. Um, it's insane. It's all insane. If he gets reelected, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. There's somebody down the street from me with a big old Trump 2020 flag in the yard. I feel like the home association should come say something to him.
Yeah, probably.
Like if I worked for the HOA, isn't that what it is?
Oh, homeowners association.
Yeah, if I worked for I would harass people.
But I have Black Lives Matter sign in my yard.
I don't care about that.
And so does my neighbor, because
Like,
they
is that
love my
so?
kids and everyone else.
Okay, so with us talking about freedom, so like, where is the line with freedom? Do you think? Like, where is it? If somebody like is putting something up that supports something that is like, if somebody was flying a Nazi flag, would that be the line, or is the line once they say something or harm or do something of harm to somebody else?
I would like the line to be like, I'm saying Black Lives Matter. I'm not saying police don't matter. I'm not saying white people don't matter. Why would I say that? I'm white.
Right,
I'm not saying the planet doesn't matter.
right,
Okay. I'm just saying the Black lives do matter. And I'm stating a fact to also help people possibly remember, don't be an asshole. Like, Black lives matter just as much as everyone else's lives, right?
yeah.
Um,
Side note, if you are an all lives matter person and you're like, oh, Black Lives Matter, how you're just saying that no. I'm not, she's not saying it, I'm not saying that your life doesn't matter. In
right.
fact, everyone should believe that all lives matter. But the fact that we
Absolutely.
have to say Black Lives Matter is poignant of the fact that all lives do not equally matter in everyone's eyes. That is the point of the Black Lives Matter. So anybody that says, "Oh, police lives or blue lives matter, all lives matter, this lives matter," you're just pretty much blanketing over the fact of a real issue with your ignorance. Instead of
Yes.
supporting a real issue, you would rather create an issue instead
Yes.
of saying, "Oh, yes, we do believe," because the police are not under attack.
Nope.
Of course, they get into situations where they get shot at, but they are not under attack statistically or systematically
And systemically.
and systemically.
I think S is the letter of the day.
Yeah,
um, yes.
I just
Kind
wanted to clarify that for
well, here's a visual of clarification. Again, I've told you this before.
please do.
House on fire, house not on fire. House on fire, Black Lives Matter. House not on fire, all lives matter. Firefighters are putting out the non-existent fire, all lives matter. Get it? Visual.
Great,
People are
great
gonna be like,
visual.
what? Just sit and visualize it. It can be your
Please
morning
do.
meditation. um, what else? I think that flying a Nazi flag, that is showing that not all lives matter, so that should not be allowed. Um, when it comes to like putting things in your yard about who you're voting for, I mean, that's like freedom of speech.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it's whatever. Like,
What about the Confederate flag?
I don't think that anything Confederate should be around.
Agreed. I think that a Nazi flag or a Confederate flag is a blatant fu.
To Black
Um,
individuals.
yeah, it's like pointing a gun at me, pretty much.
Yep. It's
That's how
pretty
I
much
feel
like
about
if
it.
you would walk over here, like, I will shoot you. Like,
Yeah,
I think your life means nothing. And to me, I'm driving by and I have two Black beautiful boys in my back seat, and I'm going
Yep.
to give that house a big fuck you, and I'm going to burn your flag.
What's crazy is though, if you put up a Nazi flag,
Mhm.
I just heard what you said. That's hella funny. If you put up a Nazi flag, people are much quicker to say something to you. If you put up a
Sure.
Confederate flag, not everybody's gonna say something to you.
Oh,
People are
there's
actually gonna
no
be confused about it and be like, "Whoa, no." Either way, both of them
gone. That's
like
why
throwing
they're
it back.
taking down Confederate statues,
Yeah, and
because
people are like, "It's a part of history."
it's a part of racial history. Like, it's not a good part of history. Let's celebrate good parts of history instead of shit that is suppressing and killing our black individuals in the world. It's stupid. It's fucking like ridiculous. It's just
I would equate
shows.
it.
I'm sorry, just shows ignorance. I'm sorry.
I would equate it to Big Brother, like in the book 1984, where Big
Mm,
Brother's always watching you.
yeah,
If I lived in, because I don't know about any like Confederate things
I think they were
being
in
up in
Virginia.
Missouri.
Well,
Yeah,
I've seen Confederate flags, but
yeah, but I'm talking about like a statue. If I went to a
yeah.
park and I was running, I would feel oppressed. I would feel like no matter what you do, my nigga, I still got my thumb on your back. Like
Right? I know
that's
it's
how
not
I
funny.
would feel, right?
No, well, yeah. If I mean, yes,
They
absolutely.
just so going back to the whole black privilege non-existent non doesn't even make sense because I think I've heard
Yes,
somebody say something about that about affirmative action being like black privilege and stuff like that. I was like, literally, correct me if I'm wrong. Affirmative action is for people of color in general, correct?
yes.
Right, right. So I don't understand why I don't get the why there is a such a huge polarizing difference when they look at people of color and black people. Like it's like it's like white people, people of color, black people. I don't get that. I don't get is it a skin color thing? Is
I was
I
just gonna say that the
don't
lighter
get it.
skin color, the closer to white, the better purity you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't believe this, but obviously, but um, just like with colorism. So, like, the darker your skin, the less appealing you are.
Yeah.
Right. And we've talked about that before with, like, black models or black women
Mhm.
that are in media that are like, it took me a while, like Leslie Jones, to love my black skin. I used to think like, oh gosh, my skin, I'm so dark. It's like, that's not seen as beautiful.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Not only it's a weird thing like I think freedom is a huge concept. So everything we're talking about has some way shape or form either like been a picture of freedom being taken away, of freedom not equally given to across the whole board,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, just all those things. So when we're talking about like hair and black skin and stuff like that, I remember when I was in elementary school, like that was something that we actively talked about with each other. Like if somebody was super dark, we called them like all type burnt biscuit, like like all types of stuff, right? And so when like we didn't see it as a problem, but like looking back on things like now, it's like, yo, that's disgusting, honestly,
Yeah.
especially coming from your own people. Like this gotta hurt even more. And so that junk is like I can be I don't remember who it was, but I remember hearing somebody crying and being upset and being like, they called me burnt
Yeah,
biscuit.
it's
Like
fucking rude.
and
You better stop laughing. You're going
it's
straight to
just
hell.
it's just because your response to it. Um,
It's mean. It's
but
horrible.
it's just the same thing. It's like, bro, like you don't even have the freedom to be the color that you were born as.
Right.
And it's not even like it's other people doing it to you, it's your own people. So then it's like you have to like reteach a like you have to reteach the people behind you,
Right.
like the right way to do things because that was something that was ingrained in our culture because of slavery. I'm not sure about it. I'm sure it happened in places in Africa and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it was like very much put on display
Mm-hmm.
here when with slavery. Like
Right.
the closer you were to the house was like the your skin was lighter, like If you was
Right.
in the house, my nigga, you was either light skinned or you was one of the slave master's kids. Like, which is, it's messed up to say, but that was the truth behind it.
Right.
Um, and I don't know if people are just trying to like escape they truth, like escape the truth or what, but I'm just thinking about our whole conversation, all the crazy stuff that people have been saying and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My mind is all over the place. I'm blown.
The letter B.
The letter B. B is for blown.
Yeah, when I was doing some of this research, like that, I think that's a good word to sum it up, just blown. Like, um, I don't understand that. I understand people have the freedom of speech and the freedom of whatever they want to believe, but one thing I said to Jason when I was reading about that guy, the Horowitz guy, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
God, I was like, his book, what's this book again? Hold on. I have to tell you because it's fucking stupid. Oh, Black Skin Privilege and the American Dream. I was like, God, this guy's
Yeah,
got some balls. That's what I
real
said.
talk.
I was like, that is the ballsiest thing to
Real
do.
talk.
Like, Black Skin Privilege, you wrote a book, sir. This isn't even just like your opinion. You're like, oh, look, here's 500 pages on it. You're like, what?
Black skin privilege and the American dream.
I mean, what a dick.
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm. No, it doesn't. I mean, that's somebody right there who can't even like fathom their privilege. Like they can't understand for
Yeah.
a second. So it's like, yeah, that. Oh, I almost said something really horrible. I'm not going to say that. I'm trying to think what else.
The essence of white privilege. If you put a black person and a white person in the same scenario, growing up in the same situation, in the same environment, the white child is more likely to be better off, successful, more healthy, whatever it may be, because of the color of their skin.
Right.
Which actually blows me because I was thinking about it today, and I might just delete this in post. But I was like, yo, other countries don't even operate on race. It's literally a construct that we created,
Mm-hmm.
because blackness was created once whiteness was created. Because before that, you was like, oh, I'm from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm from France. They don't say white people came and colonized. They'd be like, oh, the French came here, the Spanish came here, the Italians came here, Irish came here. And then now it's just like all these white people and then all these black people.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes away it takes away both y'all heritage and
Mm-hmm.
our heritage.
Right.
So it's like in this whole melting pot thing is so backwards.
It is. Speaking of the whole thing, another thing that they gave us in an article I read on the racial contract. It was Black Americans. Wait a second. Hold on. Okay. Poor European immigrants who flocked to America with virtually no immigration restrictions came, quote, the right way.
Mm,
So, okay. So that's saying
yeah.
like, oh, we're muddled Europeans turned into whatever, no heritage, whatever, in the United States. Well, how did slaves come here the right way? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't an option.
Yeah.
It just is what happened. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody is so fucking crazy.
What also blows me when you're dealing with um the Latino, the Hispanic community.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, yo, like people are like, build the wall, they can't come here. My family came here and colonized, and we did it the right way, and they came here and built. And do you know that if you just if this life was a computer
Mm-hmm.
and you put into the equation delete all Hispanics, do you know how quickly the economy would plummet? Hispanics do all of the jobs that black people ain't doing and white people ain't gonna do.
Yep.
Literally, black people ain't picking not a dang on thing.
Right.
his people will come from Mexico, the Philippines, because I learned this yesterday. One of the Philippines, like, that one of the things that keeps their economy going is the money sent back by people who come here and
Well,
work.
yeah, that's what happens with a lot
Didn't
of
know that.
Hispanic families as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So literally, they come here. They're working all types of jobs, like picking oranges.
like shit jobs.
Yeah, like jobs like sending money back to their family and then trying to live on what they have left here. Like they are literally working jobs that nobody else wants to work. And y'all
Yeah.
are saying, send them back. No, bro, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Y'all love the culture of people, but you don't love the people. Y'all love tacos, y'all love nachos and stuff. Y'all love soul food, but y'all don't like black people and y'all don't like the Hispanic community.
Not me.
No, not you. None of this is directed at you. This is one of the reasons we're able to have these conversations. Not even one of the reasons we're able to have these conversations. Because if we disagreed on a lot of things, we could still have a conversation. And that's why we're able to have this conversation, because we're able to have a conversation. You feel me? All right.
Having a conversation. Yes, all right. We could keep going on and on, but I think we're going to let this marinate.
Yeah.
And we can always come back to this. Agreed?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll do another one. I agree.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Unapologetically Human, the podcast.
Indeed.
Yikes.
Yeah, man. This is, like Mandy said, this has been another episode of Unapologetically Human,
The podcast.
the podcast, quarantine edition.
Just for now.
Yeah, just for
It'll
now.
loosen up.
Via Zoom.
Zoom.
Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yep.
If you are not, feel free to contact us. We love having conversations with people. We love engaging with you guys. So definitely follow us on all of our socials. What are those, Mandy?
YouHumanPodcast.com. Just go there, guys. Just go there. Everything's there.
Yeah.
What's there, Marcus?
Honestly, everything. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, blog, coming soon merch. All the episodes.
Listening, like all episodes are there, but you can also like subscribe over any of our streaming sources.
Yeah, all of our streaming sources: Apple Music, Spotify,
Stitcher,
iHeartRadio,
blah blah blah,
blah to the blah blah. All right,
to the blibbity blah, blah blah.
Yes, guys, definitely subscribe to our website. Like we said, everything is there.
Everything.
Follow
our YouTube channel.
Unapologetically Human. There you can find all things Unapologetically Human as well, besides our merch. You gotta go to the website for that.
And search.
So thank you for search for the merch. So thank you for tuning in. Once again, I am Marcus.
I am Mandy.
We love you. Stay safe, and go hug somebody of the opposite race.
Yay!